Hello and welcome back to episode 51 of our survival let's play on No Man's Land. There's a couple of things I want to start with, and it'll sort of lead into something else. I started after the last episode, episode 50. I put canola in that field there, and then I started putting oats in this field because I planned on doing. I still do. I'm planning on doing a sort of different oat product with the production packs. It started getting dark, so in my great wisdom, I stopped thinking I'll do the rest in the morning, totally forgetting that these would sprout overnight. So this field is now in 2 stages, which isn't ideal, but it's one of them things, there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, and in that, they're not rolled either, because I just forgot. When I went into the next day, I thought, I didn't think about it growing, and I didn't think about rolling it. So I've just been daft there, I think. The other thing that it's shown as well, and I don't know why, it's the same with this field over there, where with the weeds in, and field number 1 with the weeds in. This should never have happened. I'm pretty sure that I went over them 2 fields with the weeder. I'd have to go back and have a look, but I'm certain I did. What's changed recently is when these fields are popping up, when you first plant them, the weeds are going straight to medium. So it's missing out the small weeds section, which is rubbish because our weeder only does small weeds. So you need a hoe now, and there is a mod where you can get a hose a bit cheaper, but I mean the cheapest base game hoe is something like 41 or 45 grand, it's around that. There's a mod where you can get them for around about 25. But this was the same, this canola one. What I've done with this one, it says weeds partial. That's because I've been over it with my weeder, and it did remove absolutely tons of it, because this field was just covered. But it removed loads. However, there's still all the medium ones in there, so we're still going to get taxed for having weeds in it, which is rubbish. So I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's gone from weeding in the first growth stage and getting rid of your weeds when it was small to going straight to medium. Because this is going to affect us quite a lot now. If we need 20 odd grand to get a hoe, then that's slowing us down quite a bit, that, which isn't great. And as you can see already, we're minus £1,700 already. I used the last of our money from the last episode, which was £800, to buy seed, to seed these 2 fields here. I've got a tiny bit left, about it is only a tiny bit, it's about 100 litres or something like that, which obviously isn't going to be enough for this field, so I don't know at the minute what I'm going to do with this field. I don't know, because I don't know where I'm going to get the money to get out of debt and have enough to buy seed. I don't know what I'm going to sell. There is some eggs there, I could try that, but I don't know whether there'll be enough. There's some tomatoes, the oil. So obviously last episode we made that production back, didn't we? With the oil factory. It's not a factory, I can't remember what they call it, store or something like that, I can't remember. That's up now, and we have got some oil, but it's sort of £600 less per 1,000 litres than what it should be, or what it will be in a few months' time, in November. So I don't particularly want to sell that, and there's no furniture come through at the minute. So I don't know what we're going to do regarding that, and obviously we're going to cut this today. However, this isn't going to be ready for another sort of 3 days, 3 in-game days. So it might be that I literally skip a couple of in-game days because we might not have anything to do. And the wider point of all this is we've spoke about, forget about the weeds, going straight to medium. Say if fields 3 and 1 were my fault and I didn't weed them, and we've got them. We've got the weeds in there. If you look over here, this is only 50% fertilised, so I've missed out on fertilising that. So we're not going to get a full yield off that either. I mean, I've only just seeded these, but these aren't fertilised as well. I'm not getting, and I've slipped into this, and I don't know why, maybe for the last few episodes. Have we grown a little bit too quickly where I just can't keep up with everything that needs doing? I think that's possibly the case because I'm missing jobs now, and I don't normally do that. Or is it just, I don't know. The other thing I can think of, so things like fertiliser, take this over here while I can see it. Things like fertiliser, we just don't seem to be having the money to be able to buy fertiliser. So I don't know how much is in there at the minute. I'd have to back up to it and find out, but we need, I don't know, we need to get into a habit of having some sort of reserve, I think, where we've actually got money to buy. If we need fertiliser, we've got enough money to buy it, or if we need seed. I mean, seed, it's the most basic thing, isn't it? Right, what bit of kit do I want? I'll use this. I'll quickly go and get, I mean, that's another thing. I wanted, it's only about 9 or 10 grand to buy a front mower. So I could use the Fiat with like a dual mode setup. But because we've bought the Fiat and then we've bought the production packs, I just haven't got the money to do it. I mean, what else have we bought? So have we spent money on something else as well? I feel like we have. Can't think what. Right, I'm going to go around the edge as much as possible because, well, basically we need as much grass as possible. I started earlier this morning as well. I put it on at like 6. Why did I put it on at 6? Oh, because I wanted to get the rest of that seeding done in field number 2. So I've just sort of carried on from there. But it's a real pain. I think things have sort of slipped in the last few episodes where I've just missed things. It's not like me to do that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I go on here. Yeah. So fields 1 and 3, not only have they got weeds in, but they only 50% fertilised as well. That must be just that we haven't had the fertiliser, we haven't had enough money to buy fertiliser. I know that has been the case. Or did I just get to the point where I seen the weeds that I thought, I'm not going to bother spending money on the fertiliser? I don't know. But it's annoying. Because I mean, if you, with 50 episodes in, I think I spoke, 51 episodes in now I suppose, I spoke about it a little bit yesterday. I think it's grown so much. Like, if you think of how we've been playing this, we started with some of the start equipment, just because we had no choice really. Some of that I got rid of. Like, I don't even think you've seen it. I think I got rid of it before I started recording the first episode. There was odd bits of kit that I just thought it might be a bit too easy to start with. I say too easy. I mean, the kit is absolutely wrecked. There's never been a point in fixing it. It's an absolute waste of money to fix it. We started with no money, a £500,000 loan that we're paying £1,666 interest for every day. Which that's been, do you know, out of everything. And we also playing on hard mode as well, hard economy. Fuel use is high, everything is just turned up to the max. Everything I can make it as hard as possible is turned up. It's the loan. That's been the thing, you know, paying that loan interest off at the end of every single in-game day. And I tried to offset it. I know right at the beginning I came up with, there was a episode called Cunning Plan, wasn't it? Oh, I have a Cunning Plan or something like that. Well, I thought if I could get enough placeables early on to reduce that deficit, which was also a title name, reducing the deficit, then we could offset that loan, the interest, not the loan. We would always going to have the loan and need to pay that back, but we could have offset the interest so we weren't paying that. Now I only got, let's have a look. Property maintenance. I mean, God, we even paying £300 property maintenance every day, and production costs. So like, straight away we're paying £500 out in them two, and we're only getting between £700 and £800 back from our placeables. So I mean, straight away there, we're offsetting what, £200 to £300. Which doesn't really make a dent in over 1600, does it? So that might be something we have to reconsider. I mean, I won't do it because we've got stuff in the ground. I just feel at this point of ploughing up all them fields again, and not I don't mean starting the map again, just eradicating them few mistakes that we've made over the last couple of episodes. But some of them I just don't think, to be honest, I don't think some would be avoidable, because we weren't getting the weeds going straight to medium before. So I don't know why that's happening. Is that happening from the last update? Because the last update there wasn't actually much on there, was it? I did read the was the patch notes, is it called? Sometimes get mixed up with other games as well, but I did read it, and there was very little on there, but I can't remember seeing anything about weeds. My plan is these fields now, I don't want to be planting the same things in, so we're always going to need barley, so we're always going to have maybe one of the big fields or two of the little fields with barley in, because we need that for the chickens. So that's always going to be the case. But my plan is to get a few of them production packs going, and then just constantly cycle in the fields. So have a field with the canola in so we can feed that pack. Have a field with oats in so we can make the, what's it? Is it? There's like an oat mix or something, isn't there? Oat muesli, something like that. The same with, you can get popcorn. You can get the soybean drink. There's another one, and just constantly feeding them. And that'll make us a ton of money, I'm sure it will. But obviously at the minute, being 1,700 quid in the red means we can't do that. I still think everything we've bought has been right. We needed that Fiat. And for the price you pay for the amount of horsepower you get for it, it's just an absolute bargain. So we needed... I tell you what we bought. I totally forgot. And it's probably the thumbnail. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is the thumbnail of the last episode. We bought the New Holland, didn't we? Harvester. That's what we spent the money on. But again, we needed that. Our farm just couldn't cope with that Russell mash anymore. It was so uneconomical. And it just took ages to do things with that harvester. Whereas you've seen our New Holland just breeze through it, didn't it? So I think everything we've bought, the new equipment, the new machinery, odd bits of equipment, the production pack, I think it's all of benefit, but hasn't maybe just come a little bit too quickly, where we could have sort of saved a little bit of money? I don't know. It might be that in a couple of days' time, when this silage ferments, we might just have to sort of consolidate that money rather than putting it into something. And spend it on the absolute essentials like seed and fertilizer. And a hoe. We need that hoe. Like, that's when I talk about essentials, that's an essential. But I think we're just going to have to live through a bit of pain for the next couple of months with weeds in the fields. That's really annoying, that, you know. It's so annoying. And that field lane Dortmund doesn't help either. I mean, I talk about episode 50, about it being the thumbnail. It'll have gone out, obviously, by the time you see this, but it hasn't. It's due out tonight, so tonight's this Saturday. It's due out tonight. I'll tell you one thing I'm having an issue with this really sounds like a moaning all episode, and I'm not. I don't mean to. The thing I'm having an issue with at the minute, with uploading videos, is YouTube's taken so long, and they go through cycles of this as well. Like, sometimes it's really quick, but sometimes it just takes days and days, and at the minute it's taking days and days to process into like 4K or HD. So the video is uploading fine, no issues there, just same sort of time really, but to get the videos into 4K and HD, it's taken days. And normally I wouldn't release a video that um, hasn't been processed into that, because I'd prefer to have it the sort of best quality available. But if I was doing that, at the minute I'd only be putting out maybe, I don't know, 1 to 2 videos a week. I've noticed as well, which is obviously thanks to yourselves, the amount of views that I'm getting on the videos lately is sort of rapidly increasing, so thank you all for that. Even I mean, Calmston's always been a little bit low, so No Man's Land has always been sort of the most popular series, but even Calmston's clicking a lot more views at the minute. Which, I mean, Calmston's in a great place. It's completely the opposite to this, and just generates so much cash on Calmston. It's unreal. I mean, at the minute we've been sort of a bit where I think we've just done. I say I think because it's been a few days since I've been on Calmston. We've just done the summer harvests, because we play on that. We play seasons. We've just done an absolutely massive sugar beet harvest, which literally took a full. If you can think of your working day, that's what it took us to do that sugar beet harvest. It was nuts. I don't think I appreciated just how long it was going to be. I knew it was going to take a long time. It probably took double the amount of time to what I thought it would. But it also got us something like £124,000 in contract fees. So I'm not complaining. And on that particular episode, I've got there's productions going. I've got loads of crops stored. It's in a good place at the minute, Calmston. And I'm only, I don't know, maybe 22 episodes in or something like that. It's around that. It's not many. I've just bought the farm a brand new saddle track for the manure, the slurry, sorry, liquid manure. I don't think I haven't bought a new big tractor yet, have I? No, I have bought a new big tractor. I've bought the class, the saddle track, but what I haven't bought the tractor that's going to replace the John Deere. I've got either a 6M or 6R, I can't remember which one it is. But I plan to replace that on there as well with a JCB. I want a fast track, that's what I want. So yeah, completely different. I mean, once I get this episode out of the way, I say out of the way as if I'm not enjoying it. I love this map. Once I finish this episode, then I'm back on Calmston to record 2 episodes on that. That's just the cycle we go on at the minute. I normally get 40 odd off this, don't I? Between 44 and 47 I think we've had off it previously, but be interesting to see how many bales we actually get, how much lower it's going to be with it only being 50% fertilised. When I was talking about sort of being in the red, I could always, I've got them trees there, I could go and cut some of them trees down, make us some money that way. But again, I wouldn't want to do that if it'll only cover just enough to sort of get us out the red, because then we'll only be back in it in the next in-game day. We've got our 20 pine trees over there, they're sort of fading in, you can kind of see them. Next to field number 2, they're not fully mature yet. I have no idea when I planted them. I really do think this is my favourite thing about the game, you know, I absolutely love mowing. If I can keep that straight and keep getting both ends, I'll be amazed. It's widening up here. Yeah, it's too wide, isn't it, here? Nearly. I've just looked. We've already been recording for 27 minutes. That's just 27 minutes of me talking and no time lapses or anything. What I think we'll do is we'll use time lapses and jumps for the rest of the grass work, because we're 27, probably 28 minutes in now, and it's only 7:45 in the morning. So we'll do that, else this video is going to be ridiculously long. Yeah, so let's get cracking. Right, so we've jumped forward. There'll have been a really short time lapse, and it will have been really short as well, to the point where I actually think there was one stage that I fully missed out. It might have been the windrown. Was it the windrown? Or was it the balon? I'm sure there was one step that isn't even in. Just because, like I said, the video is already starting to get a little bit long, and I mean, we've cut this multiple times, haven't we? In the meantime, I went and weeded the field number 2, the bit where it's in different growth stages. I did that off camera. There wasn't much to do, to be honest, because the big chunk in the middle's missing. And what else to do? Oh, I also checked. I have absolutely no fertiliser, which is probably why the fields are missing it. I say probably. It is the reason why the fields are missing it. Options wise, what we've got is, I need to decide whether I'm just going to jump ahead a few days, and then sort of bring it to a natural reset point where I could jump ahead, get sort of these horrible weed infested crops harvested. And then almost not start again, but like I said, we'll be at that point where if we get some trees, those ones over in the background there in the middle, which I think is pretty much the only ones we have available to us, other than our pine over there that aren't already. I think we might be able to get out of the sort of little hole that we're in. The only thing with skipping a few days is you're looking at sort of what, £1,400 loss every day. So we might end up being about £4,000, maybe even a little bit more, in debt. I'll tell you what I think we need to do. I'll do it now. I think we need to fill both, or certainly this one, certainly this small one, the chicken coop up. So I'll get this done now. Oh, let us just see. I had from the last video just a few comments. There was obviously people quite sort of pleased that I've ended up getting a new harvester, but we have Chuck Go Gaming, and what he's done is he's let us know that every 30 minutes that's when the bales ferment by 1%. So I think I'll get the comment in front of us. He said 1% per 30 in-game minutes, so 2 days and 2 hours per bale, which is cracking. Now that I know that. I know we timed it before, and I think I was timing it. I mean, I didn't do it. I didn't really do it sort of all in. I was just off the cuff looking at it. I think were we looking at sort of about 40 minutes, weren't we? But like I said, that wasn't sort of set in stone. That was me just on times 360 or whatever it was, looking at tick over. So yeah, having that info is great. So we've just finished wrapping at 12 o'clock, because I think it was about that. So what we're looking at, August, September at 4 o'clock, do you think? So I mean, we've got a long wait ahead, haven't we? Especially, I mean, that is our sort of money maker at the minute as well. And by November, I think that's when the canola oil price peaks. And I'm not sure about furniture, or the tomatoes will sell whenever we need money, will sell. Because that's all they were doing last time. They were just sort of they were on auto sell, weren't they, and they were just ticking over as required. So I'm not bothered about keeping the tomatoes until the best price. And there's not a massive sort of fluctuation anyway, to be honest. Right, let's get this filled up. I think there was still quite a lot in here, to be fair. We'll get this filled up if the trigger recognises it. Oh, the other thing, going back to the bales, so that field there that we were baling, it was only 50% fertilised. I'm sure, although we'll have to check the next time we do it if we can get it 100% fertilised, I'm sure the last time we got 47 bales. That not being fertilised, we still got 42. There's still 42 bales in there, and it's only 50% fertilised, which I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be in the 30s at the very most. But I know sort of if it was 47 and 42, 5 bales is still quite a lot, sort of money wise. And it doesn't take overly much fertiliser. But yeah, I just thought there'd be a bigger difference than that, and I'm really pleased that there's not. Right. So, state of play. We've got that weeding done. We've got the field work done. We've probably complained loads. And we can't progress any further unless we go and chop some wood down, which I don't want to do, because all it'll do is end up back in the red. It'll just feed our loan interest. and I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to chop them trees down until I have something to spend the money on. So, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.